Hello again. The other day I made this card. I found that I'd got some Sizzix vases I'd forgotten I'd got. They don't say Sizzix on the back, but I am sure they are Sizzix. And these flowers and foliage and stuff come from a Swedish company called Gummiapan. And they're a lovely size for putting into a vase. So I've done a couple of cards now where I've decorated a vase, and this one I decided to do by this is the die I used, and this is a die cut from it. I got this embossing folder recently from Charlie and Paulchen, which is a German company, and what I did was pop this inside and just had a look to see where I thought some of that embossing would look kind of quite nice, and I believe, looking at it, it was something like that. So the design comes off the side and will give the impression of a rounded shape. So just ran that through a die cutting machine to emboss it, and once through you can see the lines here. I just got a water brush, and to use the water brush, I think on this one I use saltwater taffy, which is this colour, and all I did was dab a little like this onto the work surface. It's glass mat, it's used for a palette and all sorts, and then I just pick up a bit of the colour, squeeze a little bit of water out of the water brush and pick up some of the colour, and then just dab it onto the die cut. As simple as that. So that was that one. So I thought, okay, well, that was using an embossing folder. Wonder what else I could do to decorate a vase. I had used an embossing folder once before and coloured the whole thing very comprehensively with some I think it was rusty patina or something like that on the top. So I had a look at some of my stuff, and I thought, I think I could do a few other things. So these are dies from Charlie and Paulchen. That is the die of the bulrushes, and I can't remember for the life of me what they're called in the States. It'll come to me, and some of you are probably shouting it out straight away, but I can't think what it's called. Anyway, it came with these two bits, and I thought if I cut the small one out like this, I could stick this onto a vase and it would make quite a nice decoration. Maybe put a bit of colour over the top. So let's just do that now. With a bit of this zig glue. There we go. And let's put it on. I was going to put it on this one somewhere, maybe like that, just off to one side. Now it hangs off the bottom a bit, so we'll cut that off. Now, because we've cut it off, we've got a nasty line, harsh line, so I'll just soften that a bit. Can you see what I'm doing? Soften it a bit with this embossing tool. So I think that is quite a nice design onto a vase. We could colour it if we wanted to. We could leave it plain. We could glaze it with some... where's my Nouveau Shimmer? Here it is. Nouveau Shimmer Crystal Glaze. You could put a layer of that over the top. But that makes a lovely vase. But before I add it to a card, I'd have a little play with it first of all. Let me just wipe this area here just a moment. Right. There we go. What I would do is this. Put it onto, this is a foam mat. It actually comes with, it's part of a set of things with this from McGill. And I would just gently rub around the back just to give this a little bit of shape, like this. Already it's got a more rounded feel. But to help even more, what I would do is to put a little bit of double-sided foam tape on the back, just to keep the middle away from the surface of the card, like that. So everything rolls off my desk. That mustn't be level. So when I come to stick it onto the card, I would put some adhesive there, and when it's stuck down, it would look rounded. So we can add to the card by putting a little bit of a die cut on. What we could also do with this, instead of sticking a bit extra on, we could emboss into it. So I could put that, let's just do that now. Take this away, get out an embossing mat. This is a rubber mat for my Platinum 6. It's a Spellbinders machine, but every die cut machine on the market has a rubber mat that would go with it. Now you can't see this, just let me turn this just a moment. Now you can see it, I think. So I'm going to put my rubber mat onto my base plate, put my die cut on there, add my die. This is the little bulrush. Still can't think what it's called. Now I'm going to emboss. Now I think with this particular machine, oh no, I can do it with this, can't I? This is the embossing plate. It was something else that wouldn't fit. Embossing plate, run it through, and let's have a look. So now we've got an impression in the vase. This one has a die cut on the top. This one has got an impression. And I can do exactly the same thing with this. I can shape it either with the embossing tool, which seems to have miraculously disappeared. What did I do with that? Oh my, this is the story of my life. What on earth did I do with it? Never mind, it doesn't matter. Shape it a little bit. Again, put some foam tape down the middle at the back, so that when it's stuck onto the card, it retains a bit of that shape. Another thing I thought I could do is this. Here I've got a little, this is from a set of stamps from Stampin' Up! Very Old, called Confetti. And there's some little, let me just bring this back here. Are we in business? Oh, I forget these things. It's trouble with getting old. Oh, there it is. That was what I was talking about. Right. Some tiny stamps. So I thought we could stamp a design onto the vase. So here I have one of my little die cuts that I've just cut out. I'm just going to give it a quick rub with my anti-static bag. I'm going to use Versamark on this. Little dab of Versamark, and where should we put this? Like that. Okay, now I'm going to just put a bit of clear embossing powder onto it. And we'll emboss that. I can see one little sprug bit there that I'm going to get rid of. It's just half of a, it was just half of a petal. It didn't look very nice. So now I'm just going to heat set this. Excuse the noise a moment. this Distress Oxide in tea dye looks quite sort of a similar colour to terracotta. So I think it's quite a nice shade for doing for pots. And I'm going to bring the colour in from the side over the embossing, but I'm not going to cover the whole thing with colour. I'm going to leave just a bit that's lighter to suggest the roundness of the pot. So this side, the other side, I'm going to put just a little bit coming in from the side. You can actually move this ink around a little bit with a paper towel if you want to. There we go. A bit more at the bottom. There. You see? Again, when that's dry, I would turn it over, shape it a little bit with my embossing tool, put a piece of tape down the middle, a bit of foam tape, so that it gives that shape when you adhere it to a card. So how many is that? We've got a die cut on top, a die embossed into it, some clear. If I just rub on these, I can get the ink off the top, so they appear whiter again. A little bit of emboss resist. You see that? There. It's really pretty. Really pretty. And then you can put whatever into your pots, stems or all sorts of things to contain them. That one hasn't got anything on. What could I put on that one? We could try one of these. Perhaps it's a bit big for that one, I think. These are tiny little Sizzix oak leaves of some description. So lots of things that you can do just to make your die cuts a little bit more interesting. This is the one we started with. So just experiment, have a look, see what you've got, see what you could do with it. I've got a few here. There's oops, this one was this one was drying. It had some this glaze on it, and it was still wet, and I'm just putting my finger in it. But you can have a go. This one has got embossed leaves, those two leaves. It's got some little stamp like this on it. It's got some crystal glaze that I've just put my finger in. But anyway, just have an experiment, have a go, and have a little bit of fun. And thanks once more for watching.